Fishing Tqckle in Carson, California. Sam, it's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
Look at this crowd.
We do have a crowd today.
There's one reason why this crowd is here, and it's not me. Might
Definitely
be you.
I don't think so.
It's Scott Buchert. And Scott is out here right now. And Scott, do you want to come out and say hello to everybody? He does not want to come out. But Anthony is going to put Scott on camera for one moment just to say hello to you all. Scott, thank you, everybody. Yay, Scott. All right. Scott has actually baked a birthday cake for Paulina, so if she joins us tonight, we're going to sing happy birthday.
Did he make those cookies?
No, that was Anthony's grandma.
Ooh, those things were good.
I'm hearing nothing but that.
You should have had her make the cake, too.
I don't know. You got to wait. Scott, did you actually make the cake? No, he didn't.
He made
I guess
the
his
payment.
mother made
He made
it.
the payment.
Yeah, he was lying to me about that. All right, hey, great to be with y'all. We got a lot to talk about. We do have a little bit of weather on our hands right now, Sam. Looks like it's going to be a little windy for a couple days.
It's only like, what, 40, 50 out there?
Just a little bit of wind, which is going to result in a swell. By the way, if you're on our Island Spirit trip on Friday, Wednesday, I'll be checking in with Daniel Hadaway, and we'll assess everything at that point, and then we'll have a better idea of what the weather is going to do. And it's great to have so many great friends out here. The Cranker brought a bunch of food. Doug Tilk, I haven't seen for a while. Scott says he's going to wrestle with our friend Dan Lightfoot. And James, great to see you. Mitchell, Juan, Mad Dog, everybody that's here tonight, thank you so much for being here. A lot of people on board with us. Sam, you want me to read a couple comments to get it rolling?
Sure.
Let's do that. And I know Michael Limon is going to have everybody sign Paulina's birthday card. Scott, you're in charge of that. Chris Navarro. Chris, great to see you, my friend. Good evening, Grandpa Phil. And Sam, I am Sam. Do you have a tip on how to keep plastics like hookup baits from getting slimy inside plastic tackle trays? Mine are smelling like fuel and are wet with oil. Gotcha, Scott.
Well, Chris, sounds to me like you haven't been fishing enough. You know, you should be using those things long before that. But what does happen sometimes with plastics, with different brands, if you have them in the same box, there is kind of a chemical reaction. Even though they're not in the same slot, I think the vapors that they give off will sometimes cause the other one to start to basically break down. I couldn't really say which ones go with which ones, or which ones you have to avoid mixing together, but that might be the cause of what you got going on. What you might want to do is try to remove those from that box right now and just isolate those plastics, and that probably would be the only thing I could tell you right now without really knowing what else you got in your box. But sounds to me like you got to go fishing more.
All right, sounds good. Mario, my son. Mario, good to see you. Happy Monday. Phil, Sam, and the Friedman Adventures family. Tyler Tanaka. Tyler, great to see you. Let's go. Good evening, Friedman Adventures family. David Rosenthal from Angler R Pliers. Good evening, fellas. Tyler, loved the new background and setup. Shop's looking good, Sam. Hey, I told you it was good, man.
So Tyler, what we got going on for you guys that haven't had a chance to come visit the shop is that this background that we have right now is our kind of our new coastal section. So we have an area of the store that used to be one aisle. Well, now we've got it to be two aisles. You know, that part of our business and just our customer base, the guys that are fishing inside the harbor, the guys that are fishing even outside the harbor, but more coastal fishing, your bass, halibut, sheephead, all that kind of stuff. Those guys have really been more regular, I guess you can say. And so with us running out of stuff so quickly, we had to just basically increase the size of that store, of that part of our store. And so what we've done is, to this side, we've pushed our clothing that way, which we're going to reduce our clothing area and for reasons that we haven't been selling as much clothing in the last couple of years. In this inshore area, you know, everything from your Lucky Crafts to your sudden impact baits, your Kitex, your pickle kicks, bass tricks, all of our loose plastics, our war baits, lead heads, everything that we have in this area, we've just given it more room to kind of just be presented better. It just started getting more and more and more cramped, that when guys would come in, you know, they just would have a hard time finding it all. So we're just going to do our best to try to make this area easier to shop and And also with that, add some more stuff too. So.
You know what? Tyler's right. I came in and instantly said, "Whoa, I like this."
Yeah, it's like a new store. Yeah,
It really is.
I mean, that aisle already before we did the move was our busiest aisle as far as just traffic. Guys that come into the store, it was our busiest aisle. So it just something that I saw day after day. Guys just coming into that aisle and making sure that they were like didn't miss anything. But just that's where they were buying from year in, day in, day out throughout the year. So we went ahead and expanded it. And so far, the guys are regulars, the guys that come through all the time and really liked it. They're like, oh man, this is cool. You're going to have more and more
100%.
stuff. So it's been good.
Look who's joining us live from Ensenada, Baja California Norte, Paulina Varela from
Paulina, how you doing?
Paulina Fishing Life. She says hi to Sam and I. She was a great hostess,
Yeah.
Paulina. We had so much fun. Who songs, the restaurant, running all over Ensenada. It was so much fun. And I got a surprise for you. I don't know when we're going to do this, but we're not going to make you sit on here all night long. Scott Buchert put together a beautiful birthday cake, a beautiful birthday card, and we're going to sing happy birthday. In fact, we might even turn the camera around and you and I can go out there in a
Yeah.
little bit, and we're all going to sing happy birthday to you, Paulina. Paulina says, I can hear my father-in-law coughing in the background. That's Dan back there.
Dan, yeah.
That's the father-in-law out there. Sounds like he's on an iron lung, right, Paulina? Yeah, that's Dan. That's him. You had to have heard him when he was smoking. All right, so Paulina, hang on. They're working on your cake right now, and we are going to sing happy birthday to you. Thanks for a great time in Ensenada. And hey, Paulina, are we changing the date because of the Baja races? Is that what we're going to do? Let me know. Put a comment up there, because if we're changing to the 19th, like I think we are, I'm good with that. So really good to have you with us. Jake Weingarten. Jake, good to see you. Good afternoon. Sam and Phil, really good to see you here. Dave Maestro, good evening, fellas. Tim Marquez says happy birthday, Paulina. And yeah, we're going to do the weekend after, says Paulina, so it's going to be the 19th. Shouldn't you go do that out there?
Yeah, let's do it out there.
Yeah, do it out there, and then it's like a surprise. You bring the cake, it's all lit up. You know, like,
Okay, here, get that first.
hold on, Paulina. We're getting the, your boyfriend is a little screwy here. And while he takes the cake back and puts the candles on it, everybody signs your card. Sam wants to talk about this beautiful rod that's here. You introduced me to a gentleman. As you know, our dear brother, Chris Navarro, his little brother, Derek, had a stroke. And so many of the people out here have come together with thoughts, prayers, also financial support. But tell us about this, because it's a beautiful thing.
So first I want to start off just by mentioning who it's from. His name is Mike Ortega. He's a super cool guy. He's been buying stuff for me for a long time. I would say almost 20 years, he's been buying stuff for me. So back when I worked at Baja, he's a good friend, he's a good dude, and just a guy who likes good things. Well, he owns a company, it's M&M Machinery Moving. So what he does for a business is he moves big machinery. So when a plant is going to move from one location to another, or whatever the case may be, he's the guy who's moving like big giant 50-ton machines or whatever cross country. That's what he does for a business. So recently, as I'm sure some of you guys have heard, CalStar is moving locations, and it's not very far. It's about 3 blocks from where they were before, but the new CalStar owner is bringing it into a brand new location, still in Gardena. And so I kind of told the guys, hey, if you need a guy to help move the stuff, one of my customers and a friend, that's what he does for a business. You might want to hit him up, and he's local, and you can probably come down and check out the stuff you need to move and all that stuff. So they just finished moving literally today. Today was the last day.
Wow.
End of the month, they had to get out before, the end of the month at the old building. So he got done moving, and as kind of an appreciation, guys at CalStar, John and Chris, say, hey, man, we want to give you something for helping us out, because he came in the clutch. I mean, not only did he move machinery, he moved, racks, he moved all kinds of stuff. I mean, he said he made like 19 trips.
Wow.
With his big trucks, which is a kind of a big deal. Those trips, people are paying big money to do that. So I think he gave them the family deal type of thing. And,
Yeah.
And so he really did a lot to help them out. And so they gave him this rod. This rod that they gave him is a super popular rod. This isn't like they're, oh man, we can't get rid of these things, give him one of
that
those.
one.
Yeah, give him that one, This is a Graphiter 775 XH. It's a 7.5 foot
Beautiful.
rail rod, rated 60 to 120. It is by far one of their most popular rods that they make. And they said, here you go. Well, Mike came in. He sent me a text message. I didn't know what it was about. He says, hey, you know what? You at the shop? I'm like, yeah, come on down. So he came down, and he heard about what was going on with Chris's brother. And he said, you know what? I want you to do a raffle with this rod to benefit Chris's brother. So I said, wow, that's pretty crazy. You know, I mean, this is like a $750 rod. You know, he just said, you know what? You guys can have it. So what we're going to try to do is set something up to take those payments for a raffle.
Yep.
And I think next Monday we'll go ahead and do the raffle. But all during the week we'll figure out how to do this. But we're gonna try to take up
maybe we can
some
get
payments.
Chris's Venmo or something and shoot that all right to him.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
shoot it to the.
Well, we'll figure it out by
right.
the end of the night tonight, if
Yeah.
not tomorrow
Right.
morning. And we'll get this raffle going here, guys. So for you guys that want to help out
They're setting the store on fire, by
with
the
Chris's
way.
situation and want to win an awesome rod, we'll set that up and we'll talk about it again later at the end of the show, and Chris will talk about it later. But I think we got something else going on
All
here.
right, hey everybody, come on up here. We can do this in front of the camera here. This is, boy, oh boy, those are some crappy looking candles, Scott. What happened there? Come on up here and let's sing happy birthday to our dear Paulina. Get in here so she can see you guys. And yeah, wherever you can go. It should work. Can we see? Come on, Juan, get in here. James. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Paulina. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Who's going to blow them out? Michael Limon for Paulina. Yeah, oh my, whoa, what's that? Oh my God, do you have smoke alarms? Oh my God, Scott, those are great.
Paulina's birthday.
I love Scott, good job, Scott.
How many wishes?
The smoke alarms are gonna be
I
going
know,
on.
man. We got to get this thing going here. Let's get it out of here.
The fire department's gonna be here. All right, Paulina. Hey, wait a minute, yeah, hold on. Paulina, happy birthday. Oh my God. We're going to have that birthday cake for you, Paulina. And somewhere around here, we also have a card for you. Michael Limon is in charge of that. I don't know if everybody has signed it yet, but everybody's going to sign it, and then I'll come down and bring it to you, or I'll see you a day at the docks. If you want to stay here with us, Paulina, you're more than welcome to, but I know you've got piano lessons and a lot of stuff you're doing. Once again, thank you so much for such a great time. We really had a good time. Mad Dog, yours truly. It was a lot of fun. And looking forward to our Ensenada trip. That is going to be the 19th of September. 19th of September, we'll be down there. I'll be down there before that. But thank you so very much. And happy birthday. Good stuff, huh?
Birthday.
Woo! Gotta love it. All right. I don't think the smoke alarms have gone off, so we're good.
No.
Are you good on the rod now, or have we talked enough about that?
We'll talk about it again at the
We'll
end of the
talk
show.
about it again.
Yeah,
Good
later
stuff.
on, yeah.
We want to support our brother, Chris Navarro, and his brother, his little brother, Derek. All right. Let's see. Adrian Casas. Hello, Philip and Sam. Glad to be tuned in. Adrian, it's great to have you here. I know you guys are both dads. Can you let us know how you got your little, or how you plan on getting them into this great sport? You want me to go first?
Yeah.
So I got him into this great sport by taking Patrick and Philip, but I remember Patrick specifically up on my shoulders when he was 2. He was 2 years old, so Patrick was 5. We'd go on the half-day boats. I'd put Patrick up on the bait tank, and I'd say to the deckhand, hey, well, in between chumming, can you make sure he doesn't drown? And Patrick was just always looking to grab a sardine. He was just into that. And then when he got to be 4 years old, he caught his first albacore sitting on the knee of Alan Girardi on board the Tracer. Same thing with Philip. Just getting them into the sport at an early age, I thought was really, really important. And then, Adrian, you can pretty much, it goes on autopilot at some point in time where they're begging you to go fishing. And we went albacore fishing, sand bass fishing. We did a Father's Day trip every year, a 5-day trip on the Polaris Supreme with Tom Rothery. It was really just something that the boys still talk about. And in fact, to this day, Sam, before I turn it over to you for your fatherly advice, if I spend any amount of time with my kids, like a good chunk of time, it's going to be fishing.
Yeah.
You know, if I say, hey, boys, let's get together, we could sit on the couch and talk for 8 hours today.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Dad's drinking again.
Yeah.
You know, but if I say, hey, you guys want to go fishing and we'll spend a day out on the water, 5 days out on the water. Oh, yeah. And then you talk the whole time. So what do you say?
I mean, so, you know, maybe you're just looking for advice on what you do with your kids. I mean, it really depends on how old they are. As far as my kids, a couple things that I found worked out pretty good. Here locally, I don't know if you have this where you live here, but Harbor Lake here, our local little lake there, they planted it with a bunch of bluegill and small little catfish. And they were pretty much, you know, automatic to catch them. You know, now I didn't know that. I had to go down there and kind of scout that out, but little piece of night crawler, it was automatic on a little split shot. So we took them down there, and it was easy fishing. So that was the most important thing. But I also knew that park had a really nice play apparatus. So I knew that they were only going to be able to, you know, stand there for about 15 minutes before they were kind of over it. And so I had that as a backup plan. But luckily we started catching fish, and they had a great time catching their first fish. It was pretty awesome. The other thing that we've done quite a bit is go down and surf fish. Now with the surf fishing, the reason that's worked out pretty good for me is that the kids are already going to have a good time playing in the sand. So you take some sand toys or whatever, you get them to kind of dig up some sand crabs and things like that. They kind of have something to do. And usually by the time they're doing 2 or 3 things, hopefully, if there's any fish around, you hook one, you call them over and say, hey, wind this in, you know, and now they caught their fish, right? Yeah. So you got to have to kind of like figure out something for them to do while you're trying to hook up fish.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, after a few times doing that, we did that, you know, 10 or 12 times, took them on the half-day boat. The half-day boat's perfect. Here locally, I think both at Long Beach, Sportfishing, Pier Point, and also 22nd Street Landing, and I think Redondo probably does this too. But during the summer, during the week, most of them will do a kids fish free thing. Now, it's not so much for the money part, you know, even though it's nice to save a few bucks. What's nice about it is that there's always other kids on the boat. And so what I found so far with my kids is that if there's other kids on the boat, they got other kids to kind of like, you know, talk to and screw around with as we're headed out to the spot and on the way back.
Yep.
And you're right, you know, their favorite thing to do on the way back is to feed the seagulls.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's awesome. It's something that I think has worked out really good, and every year they look forward to those half-day boat trips, and they're already asking me about it. And I say, well, you got to wait till school's out.
Yeah.
And as soon as school gets out, we'll start taking them again. So those are the things that we've done, and it's worked out pretty good.
And you kind of hinted at this. You talked about you wait till school's out. If you can tie those experiences into the academic success. So in other words, if they're screwing around with their grades, you say, hey, you're not going fishing unless you get your grades up. A technique that our friend Dan Lightfoot has used with Scott Buchert and failed miserably on it. So, so that's a good thing. No question about it. Adrian, good luck with that. And I kind of just threw my kids into the fire because I was out on the boats a lot. But I think, Sam, just taking those incremental steps like that is a better way to do it. And having a backup plan, like Sam said, that's why when we do our surf fishing events, I say, bring your kids because if we're not catching anything, they can climb up and down the berm, play in the sand, build a sandcastle, all really great stuff. Dansky, can you tell us more about the Ensenada trip, Phil? Absolutely. So we are moving that to the 19th. It'll be the 19th, 20th, 21st of September. The reason we're moving it, Paulina is just informing me right now, is there's a Baja 400, and there's going to be very few hotels. So after that, we'll be able to do it. Paulina and I are working on the itinerary, but just kind of an idea of what's going on. Friday night, we're going to get together, all of us, and have what Paulina refers to, and everybody, is an icebreaker. So you'll meet your captains of your boats that are going to run your boats the next day. And then Saturday, we're going to be devoted to fishing, and then come back in, have a party, do the cooking. We'll have authentic Mexican food. Paulina's talking about having somebody from the Guadalupe Valley come in and do wine tasting and cheese. Sunday, you want to fish again, you can do that. If you want to do something else, go shopping, go to the casino with Scott and hit a big Dia de los Muertos game. Whatever it is that you want to do, we're going to make that happen. But Paulina's working on that. She's going to be fantastic. You're going to love her down there. You'll love her whole family, her mom, her aunt. Foca is there, her captain. He's a great guy. So we're going to put that all together. And if anybody wants to get on the waiting list, and man, we're already up to a dozen people, and we've only been talking about this a couple days. Just send me a text at 657-227-6459. I'll put you on the list, and then when we get this all firmed up, we'll have it for you. Dave Maestro, does Sam carry the metered Max Quattro, the 100-foot increment?
Dave, it is on order and on the way. So I know those reels that you got at the show, that's probably going to be what you want to put on there. But I don't have it in stock yet, but it's on the way.
All right, perfect. Let's see, Salty Rod 365, who's always with us on the morning briefing, the evening briefing, everything. Hey, Phil, Sam, and the entire Friedman Adventures family, hope everyone is having a great Monday afternoon, enjoying a great show. Thank you for being here. Paulina Varela says thank you to all you guys. She's really thrilled about it. Verde wishes her a happy birthday. Bring some water, said Paulina. Thank you, Scott, says Paulina. Scott, way to go, buddy. Thanks for doing that. And all of you, Paulina is very grateful to you all. Noriega says, what's the name of the tackle shop? So we are here at Island Fishing Tqckle. That's in Carson, California. It is a great shop, tons of inventory. One thing I have to say, though, about this shop is that when you walk in the door, you will encounter someone who is there to help you, whether it's Sam or Blake or Peter or any of the great folks who work here at Island Fishing Tqckle. They're so helpful. And they really know their stuff because they all fish these local waters. So if you come in here with a question about surf fishing or bluefin tuna or catching a yellowtail, they will help you with that. So Noriega, it is Island Fishing Tqckle in Carson, California. What do you got there, Sam?
What about catching a trout?
Oh, is there a question here about that?
No, actually, Steve sent me a message to remind. We got these in this week, and he was the one that was putting them away. So he says, hey, man, mention those lures. So these are a Daiwa Presso. These little spoons here. These little guys, or at least lures like this, have been pretty much the hottest trout lure around. So for you guys that are doing those park lakes, the stocking trout, or going to be go up to the Sierras, make sure you stop by, pick some of these up. They have been super, super hot. Also, too, from Daiwa, they make this little lure wallet, which looks a little weird, but I've seen a couple guys fill these things up, and it is kind of nice and handy to have something like this to carry those lures. That way, pretty much all your tackle when you go fishing will fit in one of these little things. Also, too, he mentioned for you guys, probably not going to be going out tonight, but sometime this weekend for you guys, make your first Rockfish trip. If you're going to be going on your own boat, to make sure that you have a descending device. That's still the law. And a lot of guys, I'm sure by this time have maybe forgotten where they put it, or they don't know where it is on their boat, or it's just something you want to have on the boat. And remember that you have to actually have these rigged up and ready to use. You can't just have it in your tackle box. They have to be tied on your rod with a sinker, ready to be deployed. If not, you can be cited for that. So this is something that I would definitely make sure you have. And we got them here in stock. I think most tackle shops are going to have these. This one that we have here is from Promar. It's a real simple device. It's $13.99 for two of them.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah,
great price.
So no problem there. You should have these on your boat anyway. But make sure if you're going to go rock cod fishing on your boat, make sure you have these on ready to go.
All right, good stuff. Paulina says, thank you all. I'm happy, feeling loved by the Friedman Adventures family. That's because we love you, Paulina. Thank you so much. Noriega says he wants to donate. I'm guessing it's to Chris Navarro. We'll have details on how you can do that, Noriega. But in the meantime, if you go to my Facebook page, there's a link there. You go to the Friedman Adventures Facebook page, and there's a link there to donate to Chris's little brother, Derek. So if you wanted to do that, great. If you want to wait for this rod, we'll have those details in the coming couple of days. And I'll mention that on the morning briefing and everything we are doing. Let's see. Paulina Varela. She says about the Ensenada trip, the Baja 400 off-road race is on September 10th through the 14th, and the city is packed. If that's okay, the weekend of the 19th through the 21st would be a great time for everybody. That works for me. Paulina, I've got a trip on the Apollo, a 2-day trip out of Seaforth on the 23rd. So I figured I'd go right from Ensenada to the Apollo and do some fishing with that. Chad, Christopher Klein. Chad, great to see you. My friend, good evening, Phil, Sam, and the Friedman Adventures family. Sam, looks like you changed up the store, looking great with all of your hard work. Yeah, he has, Chad. It is looking really good. Cargo 91, thank you for being with us tonight. Hello, Sam, Bill. I called the store earlier today to report the Dockweiler catch. Finally catching halibuts from the surf, plus a yellowfin croaker and a corvina drop shot. Happy birthday, Paulina. Man, he had a hell of a day up there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, he let me know on the Danny show. What, he had 3 halibut? He had a yellowfin croaker and a corvina? That's pretty good wintertime storm fishing.
Yeah,
way to go, Cargo 91. Happy birthday, Paulina, Tyler, Tanaka, Sam, and Phil. Can you both talk about Day at the Docks? Will you both be there? Any idea, advance info on deals or anything to share? Sam, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
All right, so Tyler, I think I'm going to be there because I want to go down there and see Paulina and firm up all our stuff. She's going to be at the Mag Bay Lures booth. So if you want to visit her down there, by all means do so. I don't know anything about the sales. In fact, Paulina told me what the date was. It's April something.
13th.
You know? April 13th. I think I'm clear that day, but I'm not positive. But more than likely, I will be there. Sam, are you going to have a booth there, or do you do that show?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But I won't be there 100%. We have a trip that day.
Oh, you do?
So, yeah, we'll be fishing. That's the trip that is on the El Dorado.
Yeah.
We're leaving on the 12th.
Oh,
the night
that's right.
before.
That's
yeah,
right.
So we'll be fishing on that Sunday. But, yeah, it's a kind of a kind of more of a community event than it is a full-on fishing event. There are a few fishing booths there. I think for sure Fisherman's Landing Tackle has some deals there, but I know a few other guys go there. But it's not really a big event strictly for fishing. It's kind of more of a carnival style atmosphere. They have food trucks and things like that, but there are some fishing vendors there.
Yes. Oh, Scott Buchert is, let's see, Friends of Rollo and As Tackle Traders Will.
Yeah, so tackle traders will be down there. Friends of Rollo will be doing.
Thank you, Scott.
I think they even do one of their sales for the tackle there. So I know a lot of people will show up just to try to get something for that too, and help fundraise for Friends of Rollo. So
are you going to go to it? Scott will be there.
Scott Buchert will be there. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a well-attended event for what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Mostly in the morning. You want to get there, right when they start, and it usually peters out by about noon or so. But
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want to show up too late.
It's a pretty fun event. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
I
yeah.
used to do it every year. And
Yeah.
that's when Carol the Barrel from Point Loma Sportfishing had an apartment right above. So I would stay with her at night and then go down, and it was great. Yeah, good times. All right. Hey, I hope I see you there, Tyler. Gabriel de la Trinidad. Good evening, guys. This new studio looks great, man. You hit a home run with this. Question, when fly fishing, do you have to loosen the drag on your reel?
I've never fly fished, so I couldn't answer that. But I like to fish a pretty tight drag. I probably would be messing it all up.
Hey, Paulina's still with us. We're honored, Paulina, that you're still with us from Ensenada, Botes Juanitos, and you can follow Paulina on Facebook at Paulina Fishing Life. Highly recommend you do that. The mini lures that Sam showed, are they for micro jigging?
No, this is, although maybe that would work too, but this is really more targeted to the guys who are trout fishing. They have a pretty lightweight hook. I think a little spot-fin croaker, a spotted bay bass would probably straighten that thing out pretty easy. But I don't see why a spotted bay bass wouldn't eat one of these things, but it's really more intended and targeted for the guys fishing trout.
Hey, Paulina, I'm worried about, did you ever find your phone? Are you okay with that? Because she lost her phone down there. Can you believe that?
That sucks, yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Claw game.
Yeah. Oh, the claw game.
Yeah, check
I
underneath
beat
the
her,
claw
too.
game.
Did you see that? She left her phone. We did a live show. She left her phone and I put it in my pocket.
Really?
And then I forgot that I'd stolen
Oh.
it. And then we're pulling out of the parking lot, and I see her get out of her car and start running for her mom's car, and I'm going, Oh, yeah, I got her phone. She's going to run to her mom. Paulina, just making sure you found your phone. Sam De La Torre says for Chris's donation, right? You're talking about the rod, Sam?
Yeah. No, well, though, that's for right prior. That's the link that you can put in for the monetary donation.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
Dan Lightfoot says there's a creep following Michael Limon around the store, and his name is Scott Buchert. What's going on out there, Scott? Are you behaving? He's laughing. All right, he turned you in. Cal says, call the cops. I agree. Call the fire department, too, because they almost burned the place down. Noriega, don't need the rod, called the shop and tried. Paulina Varela, hey, father-in-law, check those guys' pockets. They move around a lot in the store. That's true. Paulina knows these guys. What about your microphone magnet? That was brutal, man. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Called on the phone a little while ago.
Oh, that was Noriega.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Sorry, we're doing a show, so that was Doug Tilke you were talking to.
And you wanted to buy the rod?
No, he wanted to donate.
He wants to
He
donate.
doesn't
So,
use the Venmo or anything. You want to figure out how he can send money.
Okay.
well, we're maybe. Do you live nearby Noriega? If you do, then you can come in and see Sam and leave, some funds with him, and he'll get it to the person that you want to. Yeah, Paulina's talking about losing the magnet. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I was taking my microphone off at the San Nicolas Hotel, and I heard it drop. I swear to God, ask Mad Dog. We looked for an hour. We had all the waiters out there. It was ridiculous.
We looked the next day.
We looked the next day, so never found it, Paulina. I think you have something to do with that.
She got you back.
Yeah, she did. She actually, how did you get, with my phone, my wallet. Yeah, then when I lost the microphone, I couldn't find my wallet. She had her mother sit on my wallet.
Oh.
And then I'm like looking everywhere. I got like the waiters looking for that. It was brutal.
Jeez.
DJB, Sam, picked up a few squid tracks from you at the PCS. Is it an effective lingcod bait? Any suggestions on how to fish it?
For sure, DJB. I mean, especially the larger sizes. You know, if you're fishing the shallow water stuff like up north, Santa Barbara and places like that, you can fish it straight, that 110, 150 size. If you're fishing some deeper water, it is going to have a kind of a ring at the bottom, and you could attach a little bit more weight to that if you need to get down. But yeah, those things are super effective, and I definitely would be trying that for lingcod or fishing reds or anything like that.
All right, good. DJB, we'll see you on that 5-day trip, April 21st through April 26th on the Independence. Robert Graber. Robert, great to see you. Good evening, Phil, Sam, Michael, Scott, and the Friedman Adventures family. Happy Tackle Shop Confessions Monday. See you in the 8:05 on Friday. Looking forward to it. Scott Buchert says Dan Lightfoot is a crazy old man. Yes, he does. Who could argue with that, Scott? Andrew H., what's the best food to have when hanging out on the docks in San Diego while waiting for the boat?
You know, I mean, there's a lot of good places. Actually, I can't remember off the top of my head here, but there is a burrito place right across. Right when you make the left there into the landings, there's a burrito place on the right. It's a blue building.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of it right now.
I know what you're talking about,
But
though.
those are really good.
There's a Mexican joint a little bit further down.
A little
Rose
further
Grand.
down is another
That's
one.
pretty good, too.
Yeah. But if not, I mean, you know, come in, park. If you have a lot of time, Point Loma Seafood is great, or Mitch's, Pizza Nova, all those places. But, you know, the burritos, I really enjoy them. They have a drive-through. So I usually, if I know, you're going to have a long drive down there and you want to eat when you get there, I'll pull in there through the drive-through and then basically just have the burrito before I even unload any tackle right there in the parking lot. So that's another way you could do it too.
Scott would be the man to ask. He lives in San Diego, and every time I go down there, he shows up with food for me. So,
Yeah.
Scott, do you have a recommendation on a place to eat around the landing that's good?
Mitch's Seafood?
Yeah,
Mitch's Seafood.
Yeah,
There you
Mitch's.
go.
I think Mitch's is probably your best quality food if you want to have a really good meal. And it's right there in the parking lot.
What's that?
Breakfast, 8
Yeah.
a.m.
Yeah,
Breakfast in the early morning?
Yeah, and they start at breakfast too. That's the place you'll be able to get it while you're waiting for a boat in the morning. So I guess it depends on what time you get there. If you're waiting for an overnight boat in the evening, they still have good food then too. But that's probably your best as far as just a quality meal is right there at Mitch's.
Thank you, Scott.
And many galleys too.
H&M
Yeah.
Landing Galley. I think
Yep.
Tyler Tanaka is going to recommend that in a second. Skylar. Or Skylar.
Skyler.
Yeah.
Scott.
Scott. Sorry. Why am I
Scott-
calling you
Scott-
Skylar?
Scott and Tyler.
Scott and Tyler. Scott and Tyler.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yes.
Hey, I got you guys tied in together. That's a good thing. Let's see. Halibut Man. Mitchell. Where is he? He's around here somewhere. He wants Scott's social security number. He's asking for a friend, Scott. That and, your credit card number. Rob S. Phil, any word about the success of using gulp sandworms surf fishing? I will tell you, Rob S., that Wayne Shima Bakuro loves fishing those sandworms and does pretty good with them on a regular basis. He does really good.
I would say since those things were invented, have probably caught more barred surf perch than anything else ever.
Yeah.
So.
And they
yeah.
stay on the hook.
Yeah.
You know?
But the only thing, they stink a little bit.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, they work pretty good. I mean, Berkeley in general with those gulp baits, it's almost like they made a deal with the fish, man. I know when the little jerk shats first came out and the other little grubs, those things are still one of the hottest baits even for rock cod fishing. They have the little swimming mullets. I mean, it's a really good bait. But those camel sandworms, they call them perch crack. I mean, so they don't call them that for nothing. Those things are by far your number one go-to bait. And if you're not fishing with them and not catching fish, you're missing out.
All right, yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of guys who fish that do really, really well. Live free, die free. Evening, Phil, Dan, and all the Friedman Adventures family. Dan? Man, how come he's mentioning Dan? Noriega's in San Diego. So here's the plan, Noriega. Scott lives in San Diego. If you give him a certain amount of money, he will take it to the casino and double it. And then, he'll do that all the time. And he never misses. It always results in the same thing. You know what that is?
What's that?
No money.
No debt.
Yeah.
Debt, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll figure out a way, Noriega, to get that money into Chris Navarro's hands. Halibut Man is on Scott again. Scott, what's the best pizza flavor at Chuck E. Cheese? Asking for a friend. Tyler Tanaka. Mitch's 100% for fantastic fish and chips. Scott, Tyler seconds what you said there. Also, the little convenience store next to H&M makes a great breakfast burrito. True or false?
True.
Very true. Scott says that. Noriega was originally from Brawley, California. Thank you. Chris Navarro, oh my God, had to pause the show for a few minutes. I just restarted and saw the rod raffle for my little brother. Thank you so much. God bless you, Chris. It's a beautiful thing. You got Mike Garcia was his name?
Mike Ortega.
Mike Ortega.
Yeah.
And he came in here and a very generous guy. And Sam, of course, has been doing a lot of good stuff. Just beautiful. So we're happy.
Chris, if you're listening out there too, if you have a Venmo or Zelle or something like that, we'll have to talk later on how to get that published so that guys can donate for this raffle. We want to have this done before next weekend.
We'll draw this probably on the next Tackle Shop
next
Confession
Monday, yeah.
show. And then so we'll talk, Chris, and then we'll send that money all your way. All right. Brandon says, geniuses of the fishing industry, Phil and Sam. Hey, I
don't know about
I've never
that.
been called a genius in my life. Is it true that Andy Red Line, or whatever color that is it true that's the best color for albacore? Sam, you're an albacore specialist. Some people swear by it.
Well, it was the Andy Pink.
Yes.
The Andy Pink was definitely the line of choice in those days. And it kind of was, I think, more of just a matter of the people who were selling that line at the time who were very, very strong, distributing that line through Southern California, and it happened to be when the albacore were biting. Back then, I would just use whatever I can find at the Big Five or whatever, which is usually just Line first string. I did just fine with that. If I wanted to spend a little bit extra money, I'd buy some Maxima. But, I fell victim to it, and then for a short time, I had Andy Pink on all my reels.
Yep, me too.
I don't know if I hooked any more fish, but it was a good line. And in fact, we still keep a spool of
do
each
you have
size.
it?
Yeah, from 20 to 50-pound tests, because there's guys who still want it.
Still swear by it?
And
Are they always older guys? You ever have a young kid come in and want Andy Pink?
No, there's still a few younger guys
Yeah?
that maybe they learned it from their dad or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, by and large, they're going to be a little bit older guys. But,
Yeah.
it's a good line, so I'm not saying anything negative
Right.
against it. It's just, I think at the time it was just published or publicized at the right time.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Live free, die free. He's correcting himself. He didn't want to involve you in this at all, Dan. Yeah, it's Sam. So you're out. Thank you, Live free, die free. I agree with you. Rob S. would not recommend the fish market, overpriced and not that good. The one right outside the H&M check-in. All right, there you go.
Some people like it, some people don't.
That's
Yeah.
right. Reggie Wynn, who sent Paulina 20 bucks on her birthday, and Mad Dog handed her a $20 bill. Reggie, thanks for doing that. Please thank Scott for me. He gaffed my last yellowtail on the Mission Belt last season. Hard-working guy. Scott Buchert. Scott, take a bow. All right, that's great. Scott, as I say, if he is not calling me and having me look for a job, something's wrong. He's one of the hardest working guys you'll ever meet. Stephen Clark. Hey, Phil, I sometimes wonder if you're not going to have any major peace of mind until the albacores show up. I know, really, Stephen. I'm waiting for those little devils. Is this going to be the year with all of this anchovy around? Scott, are we going to catch albacore this year?
No.
No albacore, says Scott Buchert.
been
Man,
voted
he's
down.
just crushing me. Adrian Costa, Sam, is UC making green glass rods? Sam, can you speak on the history and what you know of the history of the green glass rods? Good question, Adrian.
Well, there is no history. I mean, as far as calling it history, I guess it's a really recent thing. So it isn't like they've made them 40 years ago or something like that, and they've resurfaced and nothing like that. But I know they've done some special color runs, meaning that they're able to purchase some material in some different colors. They've done the red, and I think they've done some of this green as well. But it's just kind of a limited run thing. And as far as I know, they've only made blanks, so they haven't made factory completed rods. So they're, that's basically it. It isn't the rod isn't any different. The material isn't any, stronger or nothing like that. It's the same stuff that they use in the black glass, I guess you can call it, or regular glass, but not no difference as far as any kind of performance difference.
All right, very good. Scott will be signing autographs tonight. How much are you charging, Scott?
$2.
$2 for an autograph tonight from Scott Buchert.
Half price.
Anybody who would like to take my place and give Scott a ride home to Newport Beach tonight, I would sacrifice and let him go ahead and do it. James, would you like to give Scott a ride home to Newport Beach tonight? No? Mike, would you like to do it? No?
It's on your way.
Oh, it's on my way to Newport Beach.
Doug wants to do it.
Scott, we're going to tear it up tonight. Don't tell anybody, especially Ruth. Keep that between us. Tyler Tanaka says that camo sandworm is perch crack. He says it is so true. It works really good on barred perch on a Carolina rig. Paulina says, boys, don't get carried away about being called geniuses.
Yeah.
She's digging us now. Huh? Thanks, Paulina. We really appreciate that. Noriega is laughing about me saying that Scott will double the money. Tommy Tarr, he's in Newport Beach. Hey, Tommy, I'll be out your way in another couple of hours, unfortunately. No, fortunately, Scott and I will have a lot of fun. Scott Buchert, Scott says, Noriega, we can meet at San Diego, and he'll send me the money, which he will do. Maybe you guys can meet at Day at the Docks. Are you going to be at the Rollo booth or anything?
Yeah.
So Scott's working the Rollo booth. Make sure you go by and say hello to him. Make sure you go and say hi to Paulina. She's going to be at the Mag Bay Lures booth. And so that'll be great stuff. There's a couple people. I'll try to be wandering around there and saying hi to everybody. In fact, Noriega, if I'm down there, maybe we could get in touch, and I'd be happy to get that money to Chris. That would be great. David Betray, Andy Pink or Smoke? What would you go with?
Yeah, clear maybe.
Clear,
That's-
says Mike Krinkovich.
That smoke was called Backcountry
cranker.
Blue. Backcountry Blue, and for a few years I used that Backcountry Blue too. And the reason I used it, not so much because it worked better, but because I knew it was hard to get. And so whenever I caught a fish, I tell people it was because of the line.
Yeah, right. David says those two colors, the smoke and the pink, were
Yeah.
really good on the albacore.
They did.
You know, when I was in Florida, I went in a tackle store to get a little content, and they had a ton of Andy Pink. Is that a thing back there? Do you know? Or
I think so. Part of it too, what happens with these brands is that the people who are distributing the stuff, they have a strong distribution in one part of the country or another, and so it's just not that strong out here on the West Coast anymore. Not to mean that the line isn't strong. It's more just the distribution partners that they have aren't very strong.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. Tommy Tar's pleading with you to hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Over 100 people watching right now. Brandon says, I would like to take Scott to Newport Beach because we're friends. But after the albacore of being, after he's, said there's not going to be any albacore, screw it. He's not going to give Scott a ride, so I'm still stuck. Halibut Man, Scott, I heard play like a champion was your motto, not Notre Dame. There you are. You have any comment on that? No. Dead silence in here. What can I tell you? Chris Navarro, I'm blown away by the rod raffle and by Tim Marquez's donation to my little brother's cause. Friedman Adventures family is the best. Chris, it is an honor to be doing all of this. And Tim Marquez, it's funny because I said I met Tim Marquez when we were folding clothing to go to Mexico. And Tim said, no, I met you like 20 years ago when you helped me with a certain thing. I go, wow, I didn't realize that. And Tim is just a guy that pays it forward constantly, a truly, really great human being, making the world a better place. Dave Maestro, Pink Andy is still a great product.
It is. And we got it here. If you guys want to try it out, a Top Shot, come on down. We'll put it on your reel.
Scott, that Pink Andy is something that will match your fingernail polish. I would try that if I were you. DJ B, Tony.
Penguin line.
Penguin line,
yeah.
DJ B, Tony on Rosecrans, a block from Garrison Street. I think it is Tony's.
That's
is that
the place.
I
That's
go?
the place I was thinking was Tony's. So you'll eat there, and then that's where you make the left.
24 hours.
Scott,
Yeah.
what's the name of that Mexican place where I meet you once in a while? You remember that place? It's open all 24 hours.
That's probably it. Probably Tony's.
It might be Tony's.
Yeah, it's probably
I
Tony's.
think it is
yeah.
Tony's.
Yeah, they're open 24 hours. So
Yeah.
if you get there really, really early,
Yeah.
they're open.
Tony's.
Yeah, Tony's. All right. Tony's on Rosecrans, a block from Garrison
Yeah.
Street, is open 24/7 and makes a pretty good breakfast burrito. Yeah, absolutely. That will fill you till lunch. See you all on the Indy. Looking forward to it. DJB, James Caraoas, Island Tackle, FTW.
For the win.
For the win! Thank you. The Fishing Cowboy, what up? Sam and Friedman Adventures family, great to have you here. Scott Buchert says, hi, Paulina, you're the best. Can't wait to see you at Day at the Docks. Scott, once again, thanks for the birthday cake for Paulina. And the card, I'll just show Paulina the card if she's still hanging around here now, and then we can all sign it later. All right. We're getting that up here, Paulina. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much. Tim Marquez is a solid person. Oh, thank you so much. There's your birthday card, Paulina. Scott Buchert took care of that. He took care of your cake. He's a really good person. Thank you, Scott, for that. Noriega, he said he's going to try to meet us down there in San Diego. Dave Maestro, I'm switching to Pink Andy this season because it matches my rods.
You know, that could be why they haven't caught any albacore the last couple of years.
No Pink Andy?
No Pink Andy.
Ooh, you
Yeah,
think that's it?
That could be it.
Everybody here, Pink Andy, okay? Come on, we can do this. The Fishing Cowboy, Chris Navarro, prayers with you, my brother. God bless you, The Fishing Cowboy. Appreciate that. Halibut Man Michael says, meet me outside, Scott.
Whoa.
I have the gloves. You can't take my Amor Paulina or my chicken wings. Oh, is that? I thought you were just being nice to Paulina. You're making a move on her? Oh, yeah, he's shaking his head. Paulina, watch out. And Paulina is here now. You have to work on those acronyms, Phil. Thank you, Paulina. And she likes the pickle on there for sure. Yeah, we're going to all sign that, Paulina. I'll bring it to you a day at the docks. Or maybe we'll sign it. I'll give it to Scott. And Scott, would you like to deliver it to Paulina at Day at the Docks? Would you do that?
Okay.
Yeah, he will do that, Paulina. So there you are. You're going to have Scott Buchert bring it. She was very disappointed, Scott, you did make the trip to Mexico. Man, if we get this crowd down in Mexico, man, the federales are going to get called the first night. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to get out of control, which is what I'm looking for. Chris Navarro, thank you. Mike Ortega, you have no idea how much this means to me and my family. God bless you. Tommy Tar fishing albacore in the 70s on the holiday, probably with Steve Giffen, right? With my dad. We always had dinner at a restaurant across the street from H&M. I think it was called the Rib Cage. Yeah, it was.
Could be.
what was the name? I don't.
No more.
Yeah, it was Prime Rib Inn or something like that, wasn't it? I think it was Prime Rib Inn or something like that. I ate there all the time too. I went down there one night and I went to Tarantino's. I won't say who it was, but
Who was it?
I can't say because he'd kill me. But I was drinking in those days,
Okay.
and this guy was leaving at 10 o'clock, and I was having dinner with him, the captain of a boat.
Oh, geez.
And he got so toasted,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, okay, see you later. He ran into the bait receiver
Oh.
and took out half of the bait receiver. And he went, it's not my fault, for
Yeah.
God's sake. So they put him to bed after that, and needless to say, I think the statute of limitations has run on that, so we're okay here. All right, Randy ran the holiday as well, Phil. It could be Captain Randy. Let's see. Brandon wants to know, we'll be getting an albacore update in April? Absolutely. Phil, a couple of days ago on your morning briefing, you said you were checking all the data. Have you talked to the commercials yet? I've talked to everybody, but I'm not quite ready to make the call. I think Sam's right. Everybody's got to start fishing with Pink Andy. I think that's what is going to turn it around.
I mean, on that trip, you're the charter master, right?
Well, yeah. Which one?
On the
Indy?
5-day, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can't you
We're just going to go west.
Yeah, just tell them to just go look for albacore.
Let's go west.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I'll be thrown off the boat. Yeah. They'll drag me
What
home.
if you catch them, though?
Yeah, what if? I don't know about
No
that.
faith, huh? No faith.
No, none. Not on that. Look, man, I've gone down the drain 4 years in a row, so I've got faith that I'll screw it up again. Yeah, I'm going for 5. Exactly, James. Greg, Cali Kid, Warren.
Cali Kid Warren.
Thank you, Phil, for the rod last week that Chuck wrapped. Is Chuck still here?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's right there.
The Chuck wrapped the Cal Star 95J. Picked it up yesterday. Best $20 I ever spent.
go.
Greg, way to go. Hey, Chuck, you're getting applauded here for the beautiful rod.
Anybody can win.
Yeah, beautiful. So happy, Greg, for you. Halibut Man, boy, he's all over Scott tonight. These two are going at it. Scott, you are the albacore of Phil's dreams. That's true. Where is Halibut Man? He's just hiding, sending out these texts to me. You are the albacore of my eye.
Flexing rod.
Da 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 da. Okay. Paulina Varela is laughing at Halibut Man's jokes. Don't do that. Marcus Mackey is here. Paulina Mackey's here. And he just walked in and he jumped up and down and said, "Happy birthday," right away. So, yes, that sounds good to me. David Rosenthal, the Backcountry Blue is really good line, supple with great abrasion resistance.
They don't make it anymore.
They don't?
No.
Oh, okay. There you
But
go.
it's really good line.
David
Maybe they still make it.
Rosenthal.
I shouldn't say that. Maybe they still do.
Tommy Tar in Newport Beach, California, where I will be traveling to tonight, and I'm so happy I have another 43 energy drinks. And Scott Buchert just tripped Michael Limon out there. You saw it,
Scott.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Did you do that on purpose, Scott?
Yeah, he did.
God, I hope Madman got that on video, man. That was good stuff. All right, these guys are climbing around. Like I say, you take this group down there, and the federales are coming, let me tell you.
I'll warn them ahead of time.
Yeah, really. Tommy Tar, back then, the skipper was Steve Giffen. That's what I thought. I knew Steve really well. We fished with 60 people on an overnight. Yeah.
That was pretty regular back then, you
Oh,
know? Yeah,
totally.
50 people, 60 people on an overnight trip. That was pretty dang regular.
Yeah, that was.
That wouldn't go over too good these days.
No, I don't think so. Except maybe like the price would be, but it's just such a mess.
I know.
Man, I remember decking on those searcher trips. No, Sam, we honestly would go with 90 people on
Well,
the searcher.
it'd be like 20 people in the galley sleeping.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
than that. You know,
Yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
just laying, it looks like.
Everywhere, yeah.
But, I mean, like trying to make your way up to the bow to gaff an albacore in those days.
You're fighting
like,
for people,
yeah,
yeah.
you're just like, there's so many people, and it was just brutal.
From the freelance.
Yeah, the freelance puts a lot of people on there. Yeah. Don Brockman, are you listening? Scott doesn't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the Qualifier 105 used to carry 100 people. The
100
searcher.
people. Yeah.
All those guys were running with a lot of people. All right, Chad Christopher Climb. Never forget, tip the crew. Don't have a beer or two. Always look after the crew. Scott, no more beer for you, okay? Stop that. No wonder he's tripping people. He's drinking beer out there. Scott Buecher says, Mike, want to go for albacore on the 5-day trip.
There he goes.
No, look what you started.
The votes are in.
Is Scott on that trip? You're not on that
The
trip,
votes
Scott.
are in.
Want to go?
DJB says, hit that like button if you think Scott Buecher's new nickname, which is Free Spool right now, I would say, should be Pink Andy. Hit that like button. And anybody out there who thinks it's a good idea, start applauding. Oh, look, there you go. Pink Andy or Free Spool. Man, let me tell you, Tim Marquez is right. He says the show is falling apart tonight. There's no doubt about it. There's people tripping one another out there. It's getting out of hand out here. I think it's Paulina's birthday. Everybody's out of control because of our dear friend in Ensenada, Paulina. And Paulina says, hey, Marcus, hello, you survived Vegas, she asked. And he's shaking his head yes. So, yes, he did. Thank you, Tim Marquez, says Chris Navarro. And Shad, how's that go? What would you say? Shad SFC. Howdy, Phil, howdy. Shad from the Apollo tuning in. Dude, good to see you. I know you, Shad. Man, it's been a while. Are you down in TJ? I know that's where you were hanging out last time. It's good to see you, man. Chad did some really great stuff when we almost had a girl get pulled overboard. Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, she just had a baby the other day, so my best to her. But yeah, he was the guy. I think Shad was the guy that grabbed her before she went over. It was a close call. Good to see you, Shad. Thank you for joining us. Halibut Man. Oh, now he's getting serious. He has a question for you. We like it better when you're picking on Scott. Sam, any thoughts on live target lures? They look very realistic, and some new cranks that are innovative.
Yeah, it's a brand of lures that that's kind of their deal, is that they have colorations and designs that are very realistic looking, just like he's saying. There's a couple of different companies that are starting to do that these days. I think the technology has just come around to where, you know, the color patterns on them is not just like a blue and a green. It's like it'll have like gills and eyeballs with multiple, you know, detail marks to it. The tails are super detailed and things like that. So, you know, I don't have a huge amount of experience with them myself, but I have seen some of the catalogs. They do look pretty cool.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Halibut Man Mitchell. Brandon, so I need to put in a request. Please, Phil and Sam, I need to find some Charlie Brown hooks this season. Hopefully, you geniuses. Is that like a put down, or is he serious about that?
Charlie
Does he
Brown
think
hooks?
No, geniuses.
Oh, yeah.
Forget that, Charlie Brown. Can you get them in stock in your store? Thanks if you can.
You know, I don't know. It's possible. I know it's been kind of a back and forth as to the previous guy who was making them, and then there's like a new person who's kind of taken over that a little bit. I don't really know if there's too much as far as distribution on that, but if they become available and they come into the shop, I'll stock them. But it's not something that I'm really hard up looking for quite at the moment. I know some guys have looked at those hooks as being kind of like the magic hook.
Yeah.
And they are a good hook. There's no doubt about it, but not something that I think is solving all the problems quite right now. But if you can find them, I think that there are some guys that are huge fans of them. I just don't know exactly where you would get them.
All right, very good. I'm sure. Can you just go on Amazon or Google it or something? Or
Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really haven't taken the time to research that.
Right. Paulina, Scott just passed me a note, wants to know if you can run over to the San Nicolas Casino and throw 20 pesos in the Dia de los Muertos machine for him. Chris Navarro says 100+ people watching. Hit that like button. Thanks, everybody. Big crowd tonight. We deeply appreciate you all. Chris Navarro says, happy birthday, Paulina. Paulina, always great to have you here. Chris, thank you so much. Jorge Bocanegra, who's a super good guy. I got to see him the other day. Phil, for your information, Old World in Huntington Beach has a large room that can be used for meetings. Might be some that might be a place for our meeting. So what's the name of the place? Old World. You're not going to let me forget that, are you, Anthony? Thank you. All right, we'll look into that. Tony Gonzalez. Sam, I booked the trip on board the El Dorado on April the 12th. What do you think in terms of gear for that trip?
You know, I mean, right now it's going to be primarily a rock cod trip. So What I'm going to bring is going to be a couple of jigging setups, kind of a lighter and a medium jigging setup. I'll still bring kind of a bass rod just in case we do some coastal fishing, but I haven't really seen anything. This first weekend coming up is going to be the first weekend that we get some really good coverage out there at the Channel Islands. So if something kind of pokes its head out and looks like we might do some halibut fishing or sea bass fishing, which is still a possibility, but right now I would expect it to be more of a rock cod thing. So bring your rock cod gear, whether it's your jigging stuff or just straight up and down 2-hook Ganyan with like a 8 to 16 ounce sinkers, depending on how deep we fish. But I'm going to be mostly bringing jigging stuff myself.
All right, and Chris Navarro's going to be on that trip also,
Yep,
he
yep.
said. So
Yeah,
great.
he's bringing his jigging stuff for sure.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Wish you guys all the best of luck, Tony and Chris and everybody. Juan Carlos Perez says, hello, I just got home. Did you guys talk about the new RGPX rail rods from UC? Or Sam, how do you compare the regular Viper versus that Viper? Or Invictus versus the RGPX Viper?
Yeah, so this new line of rods, you really have to almost look at the blanks to see the difference, because obviously they're wrapped already, so it's hard to see some of the detail differences. But the GP rail rods that are available now basically have a whole nother layer of material in kind of the meat of the rod. And so what that's going to do is that it's going to give it more recoil. They're using that GP material, which is that kind of checkerboard looking carbon fiber saw material. And so it does two things. First is it gives the rod an incredible amount of recoil. So for you guys that are really using the rail, it's going to be a nice rod for that. It's basically going to have more lifting power for the same rod. But the other part of it too is that it kind of raises the rod's line class, so to speak. So whereas the previous, let's say the Raptor was kind of a 60-pound rod, the new GPX version is going to be more like an 80-pound rod, and so forth, each different level. And so that's probably the biggest thing, the two biggest things. First is the lifting power of the rod, and also just the line class of the rod being even stiffer. As far as I've seen the rods, we just actually got a whole stack of them in here last week, and the same guides and stuff like that, but it's going to be in the blank. So the blank is the big change in the model, and the blank's giving you basically a lot more lifting power. Now, to take advantage of that, you have to be willing to fish a little heavier drag, put more pressure onto the rod, and really crank on that rod and basically activate that part of the rod. You really need to bend that rod so that the rod can do its job. So it's something that I think they've even put out in their social media. Is it's a rod not for the faint of heart, but really I think it's a rod for guys who are very, very good at applying a lot of pressure using the rail. And if that's something that you think that you've had a few chances to do and want a rod that's even applying more pressure to the fish, those GPX rods are going to do that.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. Noriega wants to know if anyone has fished Rancho. Is he talking Rancho Leonero, do you
Could
think?
be.
Or Rancho de Landardo. I've never fished that.
No.
Maybe Rancho Leonero. Have you fished there?
I haven't.
I have fished there. It's great. It's down there in the East Cape. Great fishing. Once you get to like May, June, that whole season turns on. It gets a little breezy down there. In fact, they cater to like windsurfers during this time of the year, right through about April. But then the water warms up. You start getting roosters on the beach, sierras on the beach, all kinds of other stuff. And then offshore, of course, Dorado, yellowfin tuna, superior marlin fishing. It can really get good with some stripers, some blues, some blacks as you get deeper into the fall. So it's a great place, Noriega, if that's what you're talking about. Chad Christopher Climb, Tim Marquez, I was the one who named you the tax man on the Apollo trip last year. I want a percentage now. All right, you're going to have to pay up, that's for sure, Tim. Paulina Varela says, I'm sorry, it's a mess there, but it's because I joined in on Tackle Shop Confessions. I think so. You put a pretty girl in front of a bunch of guys.
A mess? What's a
Look
mess?
what happens. I don't know. She said it's a mess here tonight, or somebody said. I said it. Scott's here. He's tripping little kids, and
Could be.
the cranker's out there. He's looking like he's going crazy. James is here. Juan, everybody is having a good time. Paulina, you kidding? You're making it better tonight. There's no doubt about it. And Shad is in Tijuana, ready for the season. I will see you on board the Apollo in June. Shad, looking forward to that. That's going to be fantastico. All right, Raymond Pacheco. Raymond says, I remember working during El Nino on the 150, 80 people, both half days on the Southern Cal, and then 50 to 60 on the twilights. I know, just
Good old days.
brutal,
yeah.
right?
Yep.
Man,
That was
those were the days.
2015 right there. That was crazy.
Raul wants to know, Sam, do you carry Mag Bay lures? Paulina, did you hear that?
We do not.
All right, you can get them at Day at the Docks.
Get him a
maybe.
day at the docks.
Yeah. Go see Paulina, Raul, if you're going to be down there. She'll be there for sure. Halibut man, Paulina, you are getting the guys all riled up. Not used to many women being in the chat. Down, boys. Calm down, everybody. You'll be able to spend time with Paulina on September 19th down in beautiful Ensenada. Chuck Zimmer split on us. What's up with that? Sorry, I had to leave. Mark your calendars, April 21st. I'm feeling a Dorado rod up for grabs. So April the 21st is going to be the next big raffle here. For that, actually, the next big raffle is going to be on this rod. And then after that, we're going to be doing that. Paulina Varela, she says, you want me to become a Day of the Dead addict like you, Scott? Are you talking about me or of Scott? Don't blame Scott, she says.
Don't blame him.
Am I a Dia de los Muertos?
Could be.
An addict?
I don't know.
All right, Paulina, I will admit it. I love that day. It's such a beautiful day in November.
is.
Yes. She's talking about gambling.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All right, Brandon says, yeah, Old World is the German area right off the freeway of 405 South in Huntington Beach. They closed that area down, unfortunately. They had some really cool shops down there back in the day, Phil. So there you go. Old World. Hey, wait a minute. Is that near the Costco? Right across the street from the Costco? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know it. I thought that place was still going.
Yeah, they have a restaurant.
Yeah, okay. All right, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That might be a good place. Chris Navarro, I have two 10-foot Phoenix blanks to add to a raffle. Not sure of the models. I'll drop them off at the shop tomorrow. I have a 7-foot heavy Phoenix blank also. That sounds great. Chris, we can use that maybe along with these rods and get even more people involved. Manila ice cream. With a new species of fishing opening up this week, let's talk about tackle needed. He's talking about rock cod fishing, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how deep you're fishing, I mean, I think we're in this time right now where it's unlimited.
Yes.
So the deeper you fish, the more weight you need, the heavier rod possibly.
Yep.
But I know a lot of guys, at least a lot of customers that we've been getting guys in here for, have really been getting some of that jigging stuff. I think it really depends on where you go fishing. I know the guys up north, Santa Barbara, places like that, they're kind of more known for their shallow water rock cod fishing. And so, if you're able to get up there, you might be doing some of that. So it really depends on where you're going to be going. But right now, it's going to be, primarily rock cod fishing, rock cod jigs, but even just regular sinker and two hook gangion, that's still going to be catching probably 75% or 80% of the fish being caught during this rock cod season. So you can never go wrong with just a couple of hooks. Now, one of the things you might want to do is dig through your tackle box, and you want to get the more finer wire hooks. Sometimes they'll call them an octopus hook or something like that. But those kind of hooks in maybe 2.0 or 3.0 size. And the reason for that is that those hooks, because they are thinner wire, and because you're fishing down so deep and you just can't set a hook so hard, is that the fish will just set themselves a little bit easier. You'll get better penetration from the hook. So that's going to be your basic on the hooks. And sinkers, it kind of varies. It could be anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces in some places, and some places you might be fishing 24 ounces. So you want to take a variety of sinkers and then maybe a couple of jigs too.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Manila Ice Cream. Ruben A. just got the worst phone call of my life. They canceled my Rockfish trip for tomorrow thanks to nasty winds. First time in 6 years that I'm not going out on opening day. Well, yeah, I mean, it just looks miserable tomorrow.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to be out there.
I doubt it. You got to be crazy to go out in that kind of weather tomorrow. It's bad. And then the next day didn't look all that great either. Chris Navarro, Sam, is a 25-pound braid light enough for deep water jigging?
Yeah, most conventional guys are using 20-pound and 30-pound braid. I don't know if there's too many 25-pound braids out there, but if you found one, that should be just fine. But 20 and 30-pound braid is going to be probably what I recommend mostly, especially for jigging. You want to get down there with less weight. You go with less skinnier line, basically.
All right, excellent. Alan rushing. Hey, Phil and Sam, my boys are looking forward to the Island Spirit on Friday. Alan, can't wait to see you and the boys. And again, that jacket that you put together for me and dropped off at Sam's booth was a hit. In fact, my wife Ruth swiped that from me. She took it, so she takes everything from me, I'll tell you. Scott Buchert, what jig do you use at the Coronado Islands for yellowtail?
Typically early season, you're looking at more yo-yo jigs, so 6X Junior, 6X is something like that. Taddy 4.0 is going to be probably your primary thing. But, you know, that place, you know, those yellowtail will come up, you know, and so you want to, if you like doing it, you want to bring a surface iron rod as well. But most of the times it's going to be your more deeper jigs, and sometimes they'll eat even a smaller jig like a cold sniper, a larger cold sniper, maybe 100 to 120 gram, 130 grams, some jig like that as well. But primarily it's going to be a yo-yo bite this time of year.
All right, very good. Let's see. Martin M says, hey guys, when will the new CalStar BT 100J rod with the new Fuji guides be available, and what's the price going to be?
It's been available. We've had it since the show. So if you want to come down and check it out, we've got them here already. I don't know if the price off the top of my head, but somewhere around $400 is what I think that's going to be.
All right, Paulina Varela says, Sam, we can put Mag Bay lures at Island Fishing Tqckle soon, of course, if you agree.
If I agree.
Yes,
Right, yeah.
all right. Yeah, you can't say no to the birthday girl, whatever.
Sorry, Paulina, no.
Paulina, we'll work on it.
What else can I do?
Yeah, oops. Sorry, Paulina.
It's his fault. Yeah,
What can I tell
he
you?
challenged me to say no. I said no. And you could talk to the guys over there at Mag Bay Lures. If they say why, you point to this guy right here.
Yeah, sorry, Paulina. Sorry. Scott Buchert says, Dan Lightfoot, there is a dog running loose in the Ralph's next door. Can you get over there and get it out? Reference to Dan and the cat in the nail salon one night. Danny Illustri. Hey, Danny, good to see you. My friend, good evening, Phil and Sam. Yeah, I just canceled my yearly birthday charter. Mother Nature wins again, my birthday being in April. So over the years, we've had to cancel a few of these early spring trips. Yeah, the wind blowing in April is not exactly a big surprise in Southern California, right, Sam?
Pretty regular.
Yeah. Halibut man, Scotty Buchert, stop talking to my sister asking for a friend. Okay. Scott's ignoring us, so he didn't even hear that one. Danny Illustri, see you both soon. By the way, it's free spool for a while, Scott. Danny Illustri, remember when you were over apologizing to him, Scott? Scott, I have that all on video. I haven't released it yet. Should I release it?
Why not?
I don't know. He says no. So we'll talk about it on the way to Newport tonight. Jorge Bocanegra. Hey, guys, I have a 3/4 day coming up on the Enterprise on the 10th. What do you suggest for Catalina Island this time of year? Pretty much what you described already, right?
Yeah, Sam? Yeah. Pretty much going to be a rock cod session. I mean, they might go in and maybe fish some sheephead or something like that, and maybe if there's some other stuff around. You know, the only thing that can really change that is maybe if some barracuda show up early. But other than that, you're probably going to be looking at some rock cod fishing. But, you know, fishing is one of those things you never know. If you guys catch that rock cod right away, because we don't have the depth restrictions, if you guys limit out right away, they might go in and onto the beach there and maybe try to drift for some halibut or something like that. But most likely you're going to be into a rock cod type of trip.
All right, sounds good to me. Verde wants to know, will he be able to come in here and buy a raffle ticket?
Yeah, I don't see why not. You know, like I said, I'll talk to Chris and see what we can do to set up taking payments for the raffle. But coming into the shop and taking those kind of payments, I'll be able to do that, no problem.
All right, Paulina says she wants to go fishing with all of us again, but this time with Philip. Yeah, I was running off to see my little grandson born that day. Let me know about a half or full day trip so we can join you. Paulina, why don't you jump on the 5-day trip? That would be cool. You would love that rig. So absolutely, we'll get you out with us. I'll let you know when the trips are, and you are always welcome anytime. Alan R., all our love to Ruthie. I think Alan's talking about my wife, Ruth, because I know he's met Ruth. So I will send your amor onto my amor, Rutita. Scott Buchert. I can get Paulina on my boat I work on. Scott, what boat is that?
Mission
Dead
Bell?
silence, Paulina.
Titanic.
Doug Tilk says it's the Titanic. Maybe you don't want to go. Hit the like button, says Scott. Scott, what boat is that?
That you work on.
What's that?
The Grande.
The Grande,
Grande.
Paulina. There you are. Scott, you're being aggressive now. I like it. You're being very good. Paulina, there you go. Paulina says, careful, Michael. Tim P, what's a good knot to tie on a yo-yo jig?
San Diego jig is as good as it. San Diego jam knots is as good as any of them.
San Diego jam knot, baby. That's the one you want to use. Tim P, Sniper Gene. Sam, what do you suggest for a light 60 to 150 gram slow pitch jigging rod that's also acid wrapped?
There's a couple out there. I mean, as far as our store, we carry the Phoenix rods and those Titan jigging rods. We also have some rods from Mustad, some rods from Okuma. Actually, those Okuma rods have been selling really good. They have a really nice component package. We also have a couple of Shimano rods as well, but any of those rods will work there. And you're right, as far as following the jig rating, all those rods will have a jig rating on the rod, and you want to kind of stick to that.
All right, very good. Raul wants to know, Sam, I'm going on the Trident in a couple of months. First time for me on this boat. What's your opinion of that boat?
You know, I haven't been on that boat, so I really couldn't.
It's got a
give
real
you an
high
opinion.
wheelhouse, doesn't it?
Does it?
I think so.
Is that? I don't know. I'd have to.
Is that a LA Harbor? Is that
it? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Do I have that right? Does anybody out there know? Oh, I am thinking of the Trident.
That's the Triton. Well, maybe he's talking about the Triton. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe you are.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't know, and I
Yeah.
obviously don't know what I'm talking about either. So the Triton, Tim P says. Yeah, I think the Triton. Yeah, it's got a high wheelhouse. I know those guys over there work hard and do a good job. And
Yeah,
catch
that
fish.
Triton's a good boat. Actually, if we're talking about the Triton, I think that I actually have fished on that boat. It's a comfortable boat, and the big part about it is those guys are known for working real hard.
Yeah, they are.
You know, right now in a couple of months, we'll have to see how the fishing changes. Maybe we'll get into some exotics or something like that. But typically, those guys are going to be one of the better boats to get some of that Catalina stuff.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, those guys on the Triton and the Gale Force, man,
Yeah.
they said the best freaking bartender they have ever had in their lives was Phil Frieman at the Orange County Fairgrounds. Boys, you were big tippers, and I love you guys. So that was good stuff. Chris Navarro, Sam, do you have any of the newer Shimano Travala rods at the shop?
Not the Travala rods. I think we have some other Shimano rods, a grappler and Talavera, I believe, from Shimano. But we have a pretty good variety of slow pitch jigging rods, though.
Man, I thought we were getting out in front of ourselves here. I almost saw
like
the
it.
end, and then all of a sudden a bunch of questions. I'm thinking, the minute I get a little bit of a break, I'm out of here because I got to take Scott home. But let's keep this rocking and rolling, everybody. Having way too much fun with you all tonight. Cali Coast hookups. Keep those questions coming. What's your guys' opinion of the CalStar 690J?
It's an awesome rod. You know, they have two versions of it. They have the all glass version and then the glass and graphite. The all glass version is a good 30-pound rod and kind of a classic Barracuda jig rod. It's a lighter, about, like I said, 30-pound rod. The glass and graphite one, you could probably fish up to 40, a little bit stiffer rod. But that all glass 690J, actually, my first jig stick I ever owned was a Saber 690J and caught a bunch of Barracuda on that thing. But really, really nice rod for local Barracuda fishing. 9-foot, 30-pound jig stick.
Hey guys, we've been up over 100 people watching here tonight. I was watching the Michael Knowles show. He's a conservative political guy. Huge following. He had like 180 people watching his show. And I'm going, wait a minute, Sam and I are pretty close to that on some nights. So
We're
thank
right there.
you.
We're
We're right there,
heels.
man. Good stuff. As I almost fall off my chair here. Scott would love that, wouldn't you, Scott? Well, he's not even listening, is he? Yeah. All right.
Tyler. Oh, no.
I think it's Duck, right? It's,
Duck,
yeah.
yeah.
Hey, Phil, Sam, when does that migration, Barracuda and sand bass, start to show up? With all this chovy, I would imagine they're going to have a field day here.
May 17th, I think is when the show.
That's
goes.
it?
Yeah, May 17th.
16th.
16th or 17th.
Yeah,
I could
yeah,
be
yeah.
off by a day.
That's it,
I
man.
gotta check my calendar again.
Hey, typically that's about when, but man, we're in a La Nina. Water's cold, wind's
Yeah.
blowing. Who knows, man? Bear
Maybe,
Day.
it may be May 18th. You
Yeah,
know,
it might be.
colder water. You know?
Well, let's go with Ruth's birthday, May
Yeah,
19th.
May 19th. All right.
Yeah. Bear Day says, cool. He says, cool.
Cool.
Yeah. Sometimes those comments come a little late, Bear Day, so you
Oh,
don't
I
have
think
to
he
tell.
was saying about being able to bring in some money for the raffle.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
So,
perfect.
yeah.
Thank you,
Come
Bear
on
Day.
down.
Tyler Tanaka. Hello to Doug Tilk. and Sam. What happened to me? You left Scott out too. That's not his birthday. Wait, Scott's birthday is May 2nd. Is it May 2nd? May 2nd coming up. We're going to have another party.
All right.
Paulina, we have got to get you to Scott's birthday. That's not fair that Scott went to all this trouble, provided all this food, this birthday cake, this beautiful card. You have to be at his birthday. I got carried away here. Tyler says hello to Doug, Tilk, and Sam.
But he meant
the rest
also
of you screw up.
Yeah.
Do you carry the normal metered 10-meter colors Power Pro?
Yeah, we also carry the normal stuff. Yeah. So the other stuff is called Power Pro Depth Hunter Offshore. That's the stuff that is every 100 feet. And then the standard Power Pro Depth Hunter is just the 10-meter stuff.
All right, Alan Rushing says Triton is a good boat, fun to fish. Yes, super tall wheelhouse. I thought so. Chris Navarro throws us a $20 super chat. Chris, thank you so very much. Really, really appreciate it. Scott Bucher, fill up for sale as bartending at your event. That's true. Right. Paulina and I will bartend your next event. How about it, Paulina? Ian? Thank you, Scott, for out there shilling for me. Paulina Varela, Sam, what Shimano rod do you recommend for a Shimano Sargosa 8000? Paulina, that is an excellent question. Isn't that an excellent question?
That's just
especially after you blew her off.
One of the best
she
questions
comes
ever.
over with a nice question. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if Mag Bay makes any rods for that. Yeah. You go look over there.
Poor Paulina.
No. So in the Shimano rods, I would say that they have that Grappler series. There's an 8'3" heavy. That'd probably be the one I would be checking out. It's a really, really nice rod, super lightweight, really good recoil. That's a rod that I've used. I've caught a lot of tuna on a 6,000 size reel, and it's done very, very good. So that's the one I'd be looking at. It would be the Grappler 8' heavy.
Hey, where's Bob Gifford tonight?
I needed him to be here. I got his rod.
Oh, really? Because he's a big Scott Bucher fan.
Yeah. You didn't invite him?
Well, I mean, I invited everybody.
Did you invite him specifically?
No, I don't have time to invite every single person.
You're his point of contact. You're the one that's asking about him.
Well, yeah, I'm asking about him because the last time he was on the Independence 5-day trip, and Scott came and bear hugged him in my stateroom and almost broke his ribs. Oh. Yeah. So I'm sure he'd like to see Scott tonight. That was funny.
Maybe that's why he's not here.
Uh-oh. Bob, I'm only kidding. We're not laughing about that. All right, looks like Tyler Tanaka says, prayers for a healthy recovery for Derek. Thank you so much, Tyler. Thank you all of you have come together to really support our brothers. Really means a lot. David Olmstead, getting ready for rock fishing this week up in Morro Bay. Yeah, I think they're going to have decent weather on the weekend. I know John was going to go up there, John Garma, but that weather was looking a little iffy. I think he was talking about tomorrow.
Yeah, it's only like 30.
Yeah, it's only 35 knots.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to do, I don't know what you'll be able to do. JC, April Fool's has started early tonight. I am so glad you mentioned it's April Fool's because I haven't thought of a prank for tomorrow morning on the morning briefing.
You know what the April Fool's joke is?
Huh?
Is that the camera's not running.
Yeah, really? Yeah, I can see it's running. All right, Alan Rushing. Sam, what are your vendors saying about tariffs? Better to buy sooner or take a chance and wait?
Well, it's coming for sure. Some of the websites have already increased some of the prices, so you may have seen that already. We've gotten notices from several vendors already. And typically the way it's going to work is, let's say, for instance, I was going to order something from Shimano, and they gave me a letter today. Well, I'm not going to really raise my prices until my next order comes. And so let's just say if I had something yesterday, my big order came yesterday, and I'm not going to get something in for another 2 months, well, I may not raise it until then, but it is going to go up. So depending on the shop that you shop at and how they do things, some of the shops, as soon as they get the notice, they raise the price only because by the time they have to reorder, they're going to have to reorder at the new price. And so that usually is the better way to do it. I try to hold off as much as I can, but to be honest with you, I've gotten pretty much a notice from just about everybody. And so I would imagine by mid-year, you're going to see an increase. Now, some of the things are up just a little bit. Some of the things are up a lot, but they're definitely, none of them are going down for sure. So especially if you're looking for a big ticket item, if you're buying a new reel or need to buy a bunch of anything, I definitely would buy it sooner than later. if you're looking to save that money. You know, on some stuff it's 5%, some stuff it's 15 or 20%.
Yeah, that's
Which might make a big deal. So
Yeah.
it really depends on what you're getting.
all right. Very good. Great question. Paulina says, I can go at the beginning of May. Please send me Scott's
Oh, there you
birthday
go.
invitation.
It's a date.
Scott, can I go? I'll be the chaperone. Is that okay? Yeah, I'll be the chaperone.
You can have
So-
it at Tony's.
Yeah. So Paulina is talking to Mad Dog and I down there, and she's going, my birthday's coming up, and I'm inviting the people that I love the most, and
Oh, yeah, I saw
I'm the
that,
closest. Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm like, perked up, like, oh, cool, She said, yeah, I'll send you a photo from the birthday party.
Yeah.
Whoops. Thanks, Paulina. Chris Navarro, Scott said he was bringing food tonight. Was it an April Fool's joke? Chris?
This is the most
Scott-
food we've had.
Scott killed it.
Yeah.
He brought so much food. He was so generous.
Got 100 wings, about 200 cookies.
He got the
three
cranker to bring
pizzas,
pizzas.
Got a cake.
Man. Scott, everybody, let's give him an applause. We love you, Scott. Fantastic.
You missed it, Chris. You missed
Yeah,
it.
speech, Scott. You want to give a speech? No speech. All right, no, Chris, he really came in. Brandon says, I'm colder ice brine. We love Chris Rank. Chris, good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
Hello, Phil, Sam, and everyone. Happy birthday, Paulina. Always a great Monday night. I'm just checking in and getting started. Don't forget to pick up the Pacific Ocean edition colder ice brine. Do you have it here?
We got it.
All right, there
We
you
got
go.
cases of it, yeah.
100% you want to pick that up. And Chris actually, for my birthday, gave me a huge gift certificate at the Beef Palace. I went over there the other day and bought a piece of prime rib, and it was freaking good.
I bet.
It was
Where's that at? Beef
delicious.
Palace.
It's like right over in on Warner and Springdale,
Okay.
Huntington Beach.
Okay.
And it's been there since 1970,
Wow.
something like that. And it's a little pricey. I'm glad I had the gift certificate.
yeah.
But man, that beef was just delicious. So, Chris, thank you so very much. Really appreciate that. All right, Chris Navarro says, how come I lost that?
Said his wife bought a new car
Oh, the-
today. to
My
avoid
wife
the
bought
tariffs.
a new car today to avoid
Yeah.
the tariffs.
Well, I think those things are going up like 25% or something like that.
Yeah. April 2nd.
Yeah.
Everything's going through the roof. Yeah. All right. We'll see how that all works out. Alan Rushy, Raul, have fun, tight lines. Brandon, hey, Sam, I'm on Phil's June trip on the Apollo. I didn't know that. All right. That's good to hear. How backed up are you on reel repair? Also, do you have blueprinting available? Thank you.
No blueprinting here. No, we don't have a machine shop in here. But as far as reel service, we're pretty caught up. Peter back there, he's really, really good at taking care of stuff as it comes through. I think right now he's probably, about 15 or 20 reels back, which isn't bad. It sounds like a lot, but that's a couple days for him. So we're pretty caught up. So if you want to get your stuff done, always bring it sooner than later, because you never know. There are times where we got to order a part for a reel and they're back ordered or things like that. But generally we have a lot of the parts here and can turn them pretty quick. And but still, the sooner the better.
So I get back from Ensenada and I get a phone call from Diego Nuno.
Okay.
And Diego says, hey, Phil, blah, blah, blah. And we're talking about sending more stuff to Mexico and might be a little delay because of blah, 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 blah. And I took Mad Dog to this place in Rosarito called La Huerita. And it's a great seafood place. And Tony Lozano owns it. And Tony took off and went fishing. And so Diego calls me and we're working that. And he goes, hey, guess who I was fishing with? I just met him for the first time. Tony Lozano. I go, oh, man, he's my hermano, man, my brother. And so they hit it off and got, it'd be cool to go
That's
down
cool.
and see Diego down there at Tony's place. Jorge Bocanegra, Sam, for the upcoming Rockfish opener, what electric reels do you carry?
So we carry the Daiwa Tanacoms. At the time right now, I think we've sold out of the 500 size, which is the small size. Right now in stock, I have the 750s. I'm going to be ordering some more of those 500s. Hopefully we'll get them in quick. But at the moment, all we have in stock are the 750. That's going to be the smaller one that still not too bad for that kind of fishing. And but that's from Daiwa. That's the Tanacom.
All right. I want to thank Scott Bucher one more time again for a great night. Tons of food, festive, taking care of Paulina, Pando 56. Sam, any CNC jigs in stock, and how do they compare to a well swimming Tatty or Salis?
Well, that's a tough question to answer because if you spend the money on a CNC jig, then you're pretty convinced that it's going to be the better jig. And
What
if
do they
you-
cost? $60?
35 to 40 bucks, and we do stock them. And if you're the kind of guy that is the anti CNC guy, then you say, well, those things are just a waste of money, you know. So, I mean, both. You know, I personally just fish, you know, Tatty 45s and Salis 7Xs myself. You know, I haven't really seen a whole lot of reason to go away from them, but I do know for sure that the CNC jigs do get bit. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The guys who fish them are kind of convinced that they work really, really good. So as far as comparing them, that's kind of a tough one to really kind of look at as far as is how to
Oh, yeah.
how to see if one's better than the other. But I also would venture to say that most people have at least 100 jigs at home. Yeah. So what's one more jig, you know? So, you know, I don't think the next 40 bucks is where we're going to stop at buying tackle. So, you know, I would say give one a shot.
All right. I don't think you carry these, do you? Tuna Riot?
Tuna Riot, I don't.
All right. But I am going to have a podcast with that man tomorrow morning. And maybe I'm not going to put Sam on the spot because I already heard what happened to Paulina tonight. So who knows? But I do know that he came and did a podcast and he was great, Pete Thompson. And Pete says he's poured his heart and soul into this. The product is great. And he said, what do you think about getting into 22nd Street? Do you think that's possible? So I went up there and recommended it, and they threw him out of the office immediately. So you can buy those at 22nd Street Landing now also. Tuna Riot. Sam's going to check it out right now. And
Well, I'm positive these will work.
yeah,
Yeah, because they're a copy of the lure that works already.
there you are.
So yeah, it's exactly like those Tackle House poppers, and those have been really good. Looks like this has like a square looking scoop.
Oh, a little different.
Yeah, I'm
There
not
you
sure
are.
if that does.
How about the
anything.
hooks? Are they good?
Yeah, the hooks look good. The ones from Tackle House use owner hooks, but they're as good as these here. These BKK hooks I know are very, very good.
Yeah.
But I'm sure these will work. I know that the popper fishing community is not as much as it was 5 years ago or so.
You mean not as popular?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guys just aren't doing it as much
Yeah.
as they were about 5 years ago. Doesn't mean it won't work, but it's like anything else. If no one's fishing them, then no one's going to catch anything on them. But we'll see what this year brings.
All right, sounds
Yeah.
good to all of us. Where am I? Oh, Chris Navarro saying, Phil, jump on the El Dorado charter
Yeah.
with Island Fishing Tqckle. I would, but Sam charges me double, Chris. It gets out of hand. And Chris says, thank you, Scott. He's over there. What's he doing over there?
They're checking out some
They're
gear.
going to break a tip on a rod tonight? You got that on camera,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
Save
yeah.
that next time. Oh, there they are. The Cranker and Scott are messing around together back there. God knows what they're doing. All right, Alan Rushing. Thanks, Sam. Painful answer, but it helps to get the straight scoop.
What did I answer?
I can't remember.
But maybe vendors talking about the tariff.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. There you are. All right, Chris Navarro. Scott, I'll feed the animals next week. Happy birthday, Paulina. Thank you, Mike Ortiz and Tim Marquez. Thank you, Phil.
Mike Ortega.
And Sam. Mark Ortega, that's right. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Chris. As we like to say at a meeting that I attend sometimes on a regular basis, thank you for letting me be of service. Anybody who's attended one of those meetings, that will resonate with you out there. All right, Beef Palace has great cuts. Yes, they do. It's a great place. Jorge Bocanegra. Are you guys aware that Los Angeles County, starting April 1st, tax will be 9.75%? And that's not an April Fool's joke.
That'd be great.
Why?
Right now it's 10 and a quarter.
Oh! Woohoo! Hey, Jorge, you've made us happy here. Dezung Duong, who's a fantastic human being. Hi, Phil and Sam. Sam, what do you think about Daiwa Saltiga slow pitch? You're pushing it, but you're such a nice guy. I'll go with it. SGSL 61 MH.
Yeah.
For local rockfish and lean cod jigging. With the accurate,
BV2 300 SPJ model.
thank you,
Be a good match.
be a good match for this rod.
It'd be
rail.
great there, Zhuang. You know, that rod specifically, I don't think I have here in stock, but I am pretty familiar with those rods, and that'd be great, you know. The main thing you want to look at isn't so much about the rod being good for the fish, but more of the rod being good for the jig size that you're going to use. So you want to look at the ratings, the jig ratings on that rod, and make sure that that's the size of jig that you're planning to use. If you're planning to use a heavier jig, you might need a heavier rod. The reel itself, I think you're very, very good hands there. Also, make sure you have some lighter braid. So a lot of times on that size reel, guys will put like some 50 or 60 pound braid because the reel has so much drag. They want to take advantage of the drag.
Yeah.
But in this case, you want to use a lightweight braid because you want to cut through the water with your lightweight jig. So just keep that in mind as well.
All right, James Kalaoa says, oh, now he's being reasonable with the numbers. What are your thoughts of the Osha Jigger 4000 versus the 800N?
So the 800N he's talking about is the Accurate Valiant 800N. Both great reels, James. I personally like the smoothness of the Shimano, but in that Accurate reel, you can get it in a 2-speed. So there is some advantages there, especially if you hook a really big fish, having that low gear option. So I would consider getting that one if you think you're going to be targeting bigger fish. Because once you do hook the fish, you're not really using the rod to fight the fish. You're using the reel, and having that low gear does help with bringing in a big fish. It's not quite as smooth as that Shimano reel, but I have one of those 4000 myself. I don't really want to tangle with a really big fish with that kind of fishing, but I guess if that was going to be my target, activity, a 2-speed reel wouldn't be too bad.
All right, Dave Clark. Phil, I used to live close to the Beef Palace. Tried their T-bones and porterhouse steaks. Delicious. Man, the food there, the meat, so good, man. If you're on the carnivore diet, that's got to be your go-to place. Colder Ice, Chris Rank says, we love Tuna Riot. We do, and you're going to enjoy Pete tomorrow morning. I'm thinking 7 a.m. That podcast will go up. He talks about catching some big New Zealand yellowtail to start it off, and that's some pretty good stuff with him getting sharked up down there.
Oh, wow.
And then also goes into how to use the poppers and what they're good for. So good stuff. Raul, Phil, do you know if Paulina will be at the Ventura show? Paulina, what'd you do? She prepares to go to bed. I don't know if you heard that on her podcast. I go, what the hell? How do you prepare to go to bed? Don't you just go to bed?
Might brush your
She
teeth.
brush their teeth and all that crap.
Comb your hair. Oh, wait. No.
Yeah. Who combs their hair before they go to sleep?
Someone who
Dan,
has,
do you comb your hair?
maybe someone who has
Oh.
long hair.
Maybe a girl
be,
would.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
or
Paulina,
anybody,
are you? Paulina, are you here? Are you going to the Ventura show? I don't know. We'll find out though, Raul. I think I'll be up there. I interviewed the guys that run that show last year, so they were cool guys, by the way. All right, Chris Navarro, Mike Ortega. I don't want to get it wrong again. Yes, thank you so much. Alan R. Gotta get my happy birthday wish to Paulina before you close up shop tonight. Alan, thank you so much. I know she deeply appreciates it. She's preparing to go to bed right now. Oh, so probably we're playing that slot machine, Dia de los Muertos.
She's lost.
Yeah. Halibut Man, Scott, can you sign my underwear asking for a friend?
$2, right?
Oh, my God. Scott's getting in on me now, too. Scott, remember, you're getting a ride home from me tonight. Where are we? Friedman Adventures family, don't forget to like, says Salty Rod. Thank you, Salty Rod. Colder Ice P. Thompson goes to my same T-shirt supply. You may be going to another one here pretty soon. I'm telling you, man. Out here, Anthony's mom, she does great work with
I
T-shirts.
just got a text
and
message
so much.
from Tyler Tanaka.
Yeah.
They have a few spots available on their full-day trip
On the
Mission
29th.
on the Mission Bell.
Yeah.
So it's pretty rare. That's a pretty tight group, And I would say if you want to get together with a good group of fishermen, that's going to be the way to get on. I mean, I can't guarantee that
New
you're going to get
captain
on
on
all
there.
their trips. But I know the boat's got a new captain. Everyone's looking forward to fishing with them. But the group itself is a very, very fishy group. If you're looking to get together with a group of guys who are really, really good on the long rod or just fishing in general, but usually fishing the surface iron or a jig of some sort is kind of their MO. But they'll do anything, to catch some fish. But yeah, if you want to get together with a good group of guys, he just sent me a text message that they got a few spots available. If you look on the Mission Bell website and you look for the Reggie Wynn charter, that's where you're going to find that Mission Bell Mafia charter.
Reggie Wynn, who sent Paulina $20 for her birthday.
Oh.
He did.
That's
while we were
awesome.
in Ensenada. And Anthony made her dream come true by handing her a, what do you call it?
I don't know. What did you do?
I don't know. It's not a Benji.
I wasn't
It's not what do you call it? A $20 bill. Handed her a $20 bill.
Jackson?
Paulina is here, by the way. Yeah, Jackson. Paulina's here, and she says, I'm here, but nope. I'm not going to the Ventura show. All right.
Nope.
We'll figure something else out. Scott Bucher, Philip, do you wax your hair before you go to bed? Scott, that's a good one, actually. I like that. Good job.
Some bowling
Touche.
ball wax.
Touche. Bowling,
bowling ball
wax. That's a good one.
Shine it up.
Call an Uber. No, I'm not kidding. Let's see. Isaac says, Sam, could you kind of top shot your reels with lighter braid? Most of use 50 to 65 pound braid, or should you refill your reel?
No, you definitely could. I mean, depending on how full it is, you may not have enough room to do that for. So if you got the room and you can add 300 yards or so of some lighter weight braid, I think that'll work just fine. Just use a double uni knot to connect that. But if your reel is pretty full, what I would recommend is just take all that line off, save that on a spool, so that in the summertime when you're not rock caughting, you could switch your line and you'll basically have two sets of lines, one for rock cod fishing and then one for just regular summertime fishing. But if you have enough room, you could definitely do that.
All right, good stuff. Chris Navarro says, Sam, can I add 2 10-foot Phoenix blanks to the raffle? I'm sure we can work that out.
Yeah. I mean, that's your raffle for your brother, so you could add whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah. Halibut Man is that where we are here?
Yeah.
Calico, I love your new channel name. Works like a charm and nothing like it on the market.
All right.
What the hell is the name of it?
No, Cold Rice Brian. He's talking about Calico Chris. He used to be Calico Chris when he would post.
Got you. Sorry
Now
about
he's-
that.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I thought he had a chant.
He's just talking about how his name shows up
Oh,
on the
okay,
chat.
got you.
Yeah,
Excellent. Yes, I love it too.
We're doing a podcast here.
Are we?
And when people type, their
Starting to
name
lose
comes.
it.
Their name.
I've been
comes
doing
up.
this too many hours.
But
today.
that name could be anything you want.
By the time I get here, I've been on the air 8 hours, man.
Yeah.
I'm starting to go loopy
Like
on
Salty
everybody.
Rod 365. His name actually isn't Salty Rod
Really?
365. It
Oh,
isn't.
his mother didn't name him that, huh?
It could be, but I don't think it is.
All right. Paulina Varela. And before you wrap up this show, thank you all for your birthday wishes. Hey, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Paulina actually details what she does. She says, and yes, I brush my teeth. I wash my face. I untangle my hair. I stretch my body, put on my pajamas, and I pray. The basics. I like it, man, especially the pray part. She's good. She's learning piano. She doesn't care that I mention this. She's almost got 1 year without any booze. And when I first met her, she could belt down the tequila with the boys down there.
Yeah.
Like all those captains come up, man, they're drinking tequila, and it's pretty funny. But Paulina, you're on the right track. Way to go. JC, what's Paulina's top seller of her socks? And then she says, and before you wrap up the show, thank you all for your birthday wishes and congratulations, the cake and everything. I hope to be there soon to spend some quality time with all you guys. She really is a lovely person. Thank you, Paulina. And I'm pretty sure she's going to be back because she's going to answer that question. Oh, she is. Hey, JC, the shark and bonito fish are the ones that are her top sellers. Chris Navarro, Sam, what line are you top shotting on your deep jigging rigs? Mono, fluorocarbon, how long?
So for that rock cod fishing, probably some 30 or 40 pound mono, probably about 5 feet or so. On my tuna stuff, the bigger stuff, probably some 100 pound is probably gonna be my most common. And that's gonna be a little longer, maybe like 15 feet or so.
All right, Paulina, you stay out of that Who songs tonight. Don't go down there without me. Israel de la Cruz. Israel, it's great to see you. Have any FA members signed up for the Star Tournament by CCA? I'm definitely signing up. Great prizes for a great cause. Right, Sam?
Yeah, you guys should really look into it. It's on the CCA California website. Super easy to enter. I think it's $40, and there's a ton of prizes. The biggest prize they give away that nice Parker boat. But even past that, you get. There's a ton of prizes. I know that a lot of people who have talked to, they put in the $40 and they only had maybe 10 or 12 entries all year long. And so the way it works is it isn't like a big fish tournament where you got to go out and catch the biggest tuna or nothing like that. Every qualifying fish is basically like a raffle ticket. And so you just got to catch one and you got a chance. In fact, I think the guy who won the boat last year had like 2 entries.
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, so I mean, anybody can win. So I definitely recommend it. And it's something you can catch on any party boat or off the shore or anywhere really. And so really anybody can make a submission. So if you are already going to go fishing locally on any kind of party boat, it only makes sense to do that. It supports CCA and what they're trying to do to try to protect our fishing, and you might win something in return. So it's a really cool deal.
Thank you, Israel, for pointing that out. JC says, thank you, Paulina. Salty Rod 365. I just found out that's not your real name.
Yeah.
I thought Rod was your last name. No, I thought 365 was your last name. That's what it shows on my Social Security card. Oh, I was wrong. See, Sam, you blew it. Gregory Wilson, Sam, I'm going to Cedros on the horizon October 20th. Any suggestions on lures and tackle? And by the way, Bill Wilkerson was on the Danny Cadota show chiming in. We're going to get together and talk about that. But what do you say, Sam? You love fishing Cedros.
Yeah, so that place there, I mean, it's going to be primarily almost kind of like, tailored to whatever you want. I mean, if you just kind of tell the captain, take me wherever you want to go, you're probably going to do a little bit of bass fishing, a little bit of yellowtail fishing, maybe some halibut fishing. But as far as lures are concerned, it's primarily a surface iron place. So I would, you don't lose a whole lot of lures, but some 50-pound mono on your jig stick and some Tatty 45s and some Salas 7Xs will probably take care of you just fine. And how many do you take? You don't really need a whole lot. I think that those trips fish like 3 days down there or something like that. And I would venture to say you might lose 1 jig. If you take 6 jigs, maybe 3 of each, 3 tatties and 3 salads, I think you'll be more than fine. You also want to take a little bit of sinkers for fishing some of those halibut rigs. Maybe a couple of yo-yo jigs, maybe 2 Salad 6X Juniors, 2 Tatty 4Os will take care of you on that. I don't think you'll need sabiki rigs unless you guys want to make some mackerel. I'm pretty sure the boat's going to have a tank full of sardines. And then if you're kind of like hot on the plastics, take a bunch of plastics. You could go through a lot of plastics. Those calico down there are very, very, very aggressive, and they kind of have bigger teeth than the local calicos do. So,
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, they tear up your plastics real good. In fact, they tore up my finger really good last year too.
That hurts.
Yeah. I mean, it was bad. I had that fish. What do they have? That fish hand, where you're
Fish poison?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it gets all white and peeling.
well,
and-
just on my thumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
So for a while, I couldn't hardly bend my thumb, but that stuff's for real. Their teeth are pretty big. So it's pretty basic down there. I wouldn't worry about taking a whole lot more than that. But on that boat, now that you're going to be on the horizon, you don't have to worry about weight limits. So you could take, obviously, whatever you want. And I think the way they do those trips is that they're supposed to fish on the way down and back.
Yeah.
So in October, I mean, I would imagine
wow.
you're going to be into some tuna fishing as well.
Yes.
So take that tuna gear too.
Gregory, great question. Thanks for being here tonight. Halibut Man, Mitchell. Scott, do you know how to do an oil change? Asking for a friend. Yeah, I just hit my 3,000 miles on my car, Scott. Do you know how to do an oil change? You do? Yeah, I didn't think so. Huh? Dan Lightfoot, he doesn't know how to do it. Doug Tilk, do you know how to change oil? Doug Tilk knows how. Any real man,
Rocket science.
real man knows how to change oil, which is why Scott and I have no idea how to do
Just
it.
drive to the Jiffy Lube, right?
Yeah, right. Same way I changed the tire in Mexico.
Yeah.
Hey, senor,
Yeah.
ayúdame. All right, colder ice brine. I love that, colder ice brine.
Yeah.
That was a good move, Halibut Man. I've been missing Granddaddy Sweets. Where's Abe?
Oh, yeah.
Where is Abe? He's going to be on the El Patron trips, I believe, with us this year. Brandon says, haven't seen much bonito in the counts, Phil. Once we start seeing Spanish Jack, we know what's coming up, Sam.
I don't know.
More Spanish Jack.
Yeah, more.
Yeah. Somebody had a bunch of Spanish Jack.
Really?
Maybe the Pursuit or somebody like that. I
Could be.
think it was at Catalina or Gale Force or one of
And
those.
you know what's
guys.
coming next?
Yeah, more Spanish Jack. All right, very good. Michael and Mo in the house. Hey. All right, Chris Navarro. Scott's tripping them. Now they're kicking one another. Are you watching this? This is good.
Michael got slick to it there. Yeah.
Woo! Chris Navarro says, it's past Michael's bedtime. Good night, all. Thank you for everything. Paulina says she's not going anywhere near Husong's Cantina. Of course not. It's not the same listening to mariachi with you by my side and a lemonade, Philip Albert. She just learned my middle
Albert.
name. She loved, yeah, you're like
Albert.
her. She's like, Felipe.
Albert.
Felipe Alberto.
Everybody together. Albert.
My dad's name, man. You can sing it. I love it. Yeah, she had the same reaction. Felipe Alberto. And by the way, do you know the song Mariachi Loco? Mm-hmm. I bet you do. You would know that.
Yeah.
Now, do you know Guantanamera? Mm-hmm. Okay. She goes, oh, they're not going to know that song. Not my grandparents. I go, give me a friggin' break. So she asked, hey, do you guys know? And they're, oh, hell yeah. So, yeah, it was good. We had fun, Paulina. We'll have to do that again. In fact, I think that was Anthony's favorite part of the trip, being in that bar. 1892. It was founded in Ensenada, and there was no city there. And it's funny how a city will grow around a bunch of tequila. But that's exactly how that went down there, thanks to Paulina, my history teacher. Chris Navarro, Sam, I'll go to the shop tomorrow around noon.
I'll be here.
All right. Michael Burke. Hey, Phil, question for you. Sam is 100-pound braid with 80-pound fluoro okay for the grouper in Bay of LA.
I would say it's okay. You know, there's going to be times where that might not be your limiting factor. Those things are just in the rocks. And you could be using 200-pound line with 200-pound leader. You won't get them. So be prepared to lose some gear down there. Those things are typically living really close to structure. And there's just some of those things you won't get. From what I hear, if you're lucky, you'll get one that's maybe not too big or maybe not too close to the structure. But for the fish that you can catch, I think you'll be okay. But if you have a bigger rig, like something with some 130 and some 200-pound leader, you know, and you're really, really wanting to catch a big grouper, that'd probably be what I would take down there, something even heavier.
All right, very good. Mitchell Halibut Man says, Scott, I got busted by the Fish and Wildlife. Can you pay my bail? Just asking for a friend. You remember when you got that Fish and Game cop that was reading you the riot act?
Your car?
Yeah. We got out of that one, didn't we? Woo! That was a close one. Not that we did anything wrong, let me tell you. Paulina Varela says that she will see Colder Ice Brine at Day at the Docks, and you will see Scott Buchert also, Paulina. And she says, I didn't notice that the ultra-famous Doug Tilk was there. Will you please say hi to Doug for me? Paulina sends her best, Doug. All right, he waves at you. And Chris Navarro, one last shot on Alberto, says, Felipe Alberto Friedman.
Yes.
Ese es mi nombre. Felipe Alberto Friedman. ¿Ya?
That's it.
¿Es el fin del show?
That's it,
Yo
ya se
creo
acabó.
que sí.
Ni modo.
Vamos a dormir, pero yo no puedo dormir. Yo tengo que llevar a ese joven a su casa. Terrible. Why am I speaking Spanish?
Another thing, guys, too, to remember, we got this whole new area here. I want you guys to come check it out. We will also be having, as we're kind of redoing this area, you know, we found a few items that maybe we're just not going to order too much of anymore, but they're still good. You know, maybe some items that have been discontinued, things like that. So we're going to be kind of having a little bit of a bargain bin area over here for some inshore fishing. But I imagine the first couple weeks, the good stuff's going to go. So if you guys are looking to stock up on some of that kind of stuff, you know, calico bass gear or surf fishing gear, might want to come down and check that stuff out.
So, by the way, you remember we used to do a code word here and you'd give a discount?
We did.
You have
yeah.
anything like that?
No.
Because Felipe Alberto would be the code
Alberto,
this month.
yeah.
In fact,
Albert.
Paulina says that
Albert!
Philip speaks English and Alberto speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So there it is. Hey, thanks, everybody. Sam, where are you at? How can people get in touch with you? Why don't you give all your info?
So this is Island Fishing Tqckle. We are in the city of Carson, 21809 Avalon Boulevard, right off the 405 freeway between the 710 and the 110. The phone number here is 310-707-1205. We are here Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. You can reach us through that. You can reach us through social media at islandfishingtqckle.com. And typically I'll get back to you right away, but once in a while I will miss a message, so I apologize for that in advance.
I know, I do the same thing once
Yeah.
in a while. I feel bad about that. Colder Ice Brine, Paulina, it was such a pleasure meeting you in person at the PCS show. We will have more time at Day at the Docks. Scott, watch out for this guy. Tim P., you guys, wishing you guys a great, happy fishing season to everyone. Tim, same thing to you. My friend Noriega says, let's go fishing. Joaquin Lopez says, wow, this was a long show. How long was it? Couple hours
Couple
long?
hours.
Hey, how about you show the crowd out there, and why don't you guys just applaud and wish Paulina, happy birthday. And then we'll say, all right, thank you so much. Paulina, happy birthday in beautiful Ensenada. We're so happy you joined us for the entire show tonight. Sam, always a pleasure. Let's take Scott Bukert home. Woo! Woo! Thanks, everybody. We'll see you in the morning with the podcast on Clear Poppers and then the morning briefing.
Good night.
Good night.